You set a boundary yesterday. Today you made an exception. Now you're lying awake wondering if you just confused your child, or worse, failed them. But what if I told you the parents who seem the most rigid? They're often raising the most fragile kids. Because there's a difference between predictable consistency and blind rigidity. And your child doesn't need you to be one thing all the time. They need you to be the right thing for this moment. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you 4 paradoxes that the healthiest parents hold, and why your contradictions aren't confusion. They're consciousness, starting with the one you felt this week. When protecting them means letting them struggle. Here's the first paradox. You have to protect them and let them struggle. Your child hesitates at the top of the climbing structure. Their hands grip the metal bar, their body goes still, and you feel it, that electric current of panic shooting from your chest to your feet. Your body's already moving before your brain catches up. Go get them. Or maybe they're 14 with a project due tomorrow they haven't started. And you can feel your hands itching to take over, to fix it, to save them from the consequence. Here's what your instinct is missing. Protection and preparation aren't the same thing. When you shield them from every manageable difficulty, you're not protecting their safety. You're protecting them from discovering they can handle hard things. But abandoning them to struggle alone, that's not growth, that's neglect. So you hold both. Stay close enough to catch them if they fall, far enough back that they have to reach. You let the struggle be theirs, while making sure they know they're not alone in it. You're not protecting them from pain. You're strengthening their belief that they can survive it, that when the world gets hard, they have what it takes. That muscle isn't given, it's forged, and forging requires heat. Some days, inevitably, you'll swoop in too soon or step back too far. Because you're not following a script, you're reading your child. This is attunement, reading their need, not just their want, and it only exists in the tension. So why does this matter? Because the world your child is growing into is contradictory. They'll need to be confident and humble, independent and collaborative, strong and soft, principled and adaptable. Kids raised in absolutes, where everything is black or white, always or never, break under complexity. They're the college student who can't handle their first B, the young adult who ends a relationship at the first conflict, the employee who can't tolerate feedback without collapsing. They were never taught to hold tension, so when life demands it, and life always does, they fracture. But children raised by paradoxes learn that 2 opposing truths can coexist, that you can be disappointed and accepting, angry and loving, afraid and brave. Emotional flexibility isn't taught, it's modeled. And here's the part nobody tells you. This is uncomfortable by design. Paradox requires self-regulation, not just rigid rules. You can't always look up the answer. You have to feel into it. That tension you're feeling right now, that pull between opposing truths, that's not a bug. That's the feature. It's working exactly as it should. That's how you know you're doing the work. Here's the second paradox. Your child pushes a boundary, tests a limit, meets your no with fury or tears or a slammed door, and you hold the line. Because you're the parent. Because structure matters. Because some things aren't up for debate. But later, alone, the doubts come. Too harsh? Too controlling? Did I just damage us? Here's the reframe. Authority is not control. Authority is containment. It's the walls of the pool that make it safe to dive deep. It's the knowledge that someone is holding the big picture when your world feels too big to hold. Autonomy without structure isn't freedom, it's abandonment. It tells a child, figure this out alone, but structure without respect, that's domination. It says, your feelings don't matter, only my rules do. This is the parent who says, because I said so, and wonders why their teenager stopped talking to them. Or the parent who negotiates every boundary and wonders why their child feels anxious all the time. Both are avoiding the paradox. Both are choosing the easy certainty of one extreme over the hard work of holding both. The paradox is this: children need both. They need to know you are steady, solid, unmoved by their storm. And they need to know that inside that steadiness, there is room for their voice. You are the authority, and you honor their inner world. You hold the behavioral boundary and you validate the emotional reality. You lead and you listen. That tension you feel, that's not confusion, that's consciousness. Now let me tell you the thing that might change everything. You're wondering, what if I get the balance wrong? What if I swing too far? Listen carefully. Paradox is not a tightrope, it's a pendulum. You will swing too far, overprotect, then overcorrect. Too rigid, then too loose. Too tight, then too fast. That's not failure. That's the data. Research shows that even the best parents are only fully attuned about 30% of the time. The rest is mismatch and repair. The magic isn't perfect balance. It's the return. It's noticing when you've swung too far and coming back to center. Not with a generic, "I'm sorry," but with specificity. "I raised my voice when you spilled the milk. That wasn't fair. You were already upset and I made it worse. I'm working on managing my frustration better, and I'm sorry I let it land on you. Can we try that moment again?" Your children don't need perfect balance. They need to see you course correct. They need to know that disconnection isn't permanent and mistakes aren't fatal. Repair is the skill that makes all the others survivable. The pendulum swings. It's supposed to. But return, that choice to come back, to name what happened, to reconnect, that's the practice that turns rupture into resilience. So you're holding protection and release, authority and autonomy. But there's one more paradox, the one that turns survival into growth. And it's the hardest one to practice, because it requires you to be honest when you're not perfect. You lose it. You snap when you meant to stay calm. You make a choice you regret. And later, the doubt creeps in. Did I just undermine myself? Did I teach them I'm weak? No. You taught them that strength and honesty can coexist. Because here's what we get wrong. We think children need to see us perfect, unshaken, in control. But strength without vulnerability doesn't teach resilience. It teaches performance. It teaches them that love is conditional on being impressive. That struggle should be hidden. The goal becomes seeming whole, not being whole. Then we wonder why teenage anxiety is spiking, why our kids are paralyzed by perfectionism, why they'd rather not try than risk being seen as less than. They learn mistakes are shameful, feelings are weakness, repair is defeat. But vulnerability without stability, that's just as damaging. That teaches anxiety. It tells them the adult can't hold this, so neither can I. The paradox is that your children need to see you strong enough to be honest, strong enough to name when you were wrong, strong enough to share the feeling in a way they can understand without asking them to carry the burden, strong enough to repair without collapsing. Repair doesn't weaken your authority. It deepens trust. It says, I am human and I am here. I make mistakes and I take responsibility. I am flawed and I am safe. The discomfort isn't the problem. It's the price of presence. And presence is what breaks the cycle of perfectionism. They tie their own shoes, make their own breakfast, choose their own friends, walk into school alone. Each moment of independence is a small victory. And also, if you're honest, a small grief. The first time they say, I've got it, and wave you away. The first time they walk into the school gates without looking back. The first time they choose their friend's house over yours. You're proud, and you're gutted, and both are true. Because parenting is the art of planned obsolescence. You are building a human who will, if you do this right, need you less and less. Every milestone is a step toward the day they leave. And this is the paradox no one prepares you for. Your success feels like loss. You want them to grow, and you want to freeze time. You want them to be independent, and you want to be needed. These desires feel like they're at war. They're not. They're the same love, pulling in two directions. So you practice letting go in inches. You give them space while staying close enough to return to. You celebrate their autonomy while mourning the version of them that needed you more. And it feels contradictory because it is. You are holding on and letting go in the same breath. But here's the truth underneath the ache. Love doesn't disappear when they need you less. It changes shape. From arms that carry to hands that steady. From answers to questions. From presence to trust. One day, they'll call you. Not because they need you to fix something, but because they want you to know them. Because you taught them that being independent doesn't mean being alone. That distance doesn't mean disconnection. That growing up doesn't mean growing apart. That's the paradox coming full circle. You are not losing them. You are launching them. This ache isn't weakness. It's love taking a new shape. So listen, if you're the parent who feels contradictory, who is gentle and fierce, confident and uncertain, strong and soft, I need you to hear this. You are not confused. You are not inconsistent. You are becoming the kind of parent your child actually needs. Not a monolith, a person large enough to hold the complexity of this world, and soft enough to let your child walk into it. So the next time you catch yourself being two things at once, gentle and firm, close and releasing, certain and searching, don't apologize, don't course correct. Just breathe into it and ask yourself, Which one does this moment need? That question, right there, is paradoxical parenting. Not a rule, a practice, not perfection, presence. And that's what they'll remember. Not the times you got it exactly right, but the times you stayed present enough to try. Because presence, that's what they carry forward. Not your perfection, your humanity.